Yeah, obviously. Let's go.
A few minutes later.
Good afternoon, passengers. This is the pre-boarding announcement for flight A28 to Cairo. So please.
OMG, that's our flight. Let's go.
OMG, yes. Let's go.
Later.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome on board flight A28 with service from Kuala Lumpur to Cairo. We are currently in line for takeoff and are expected to be in the air in approximately 7 minutes' time. We ask that you please fasten your seatbelts and switch off your mobile phone. Thank you for choosing Cozy Airlines. Enjoy your flight.
The next day.
Guys, how about we separate our bus so that we can cover more historical places? Right?
Oh yes, later we can share our experience together, right?
Yes, sure.
A few minutes later. A few moments later.
Wow, these stucco designs at the exterior and the interior of this madrasa really caught my attention. And look at that! The detailings that carved are very amazing.
Meanwhile.
Ooh, I'd say this is one of the most unique mausoleum that I've ever seen. But the building looked kinda massive. I wonder if the internal building will receive enough lighting.
A few minutes later.
Wow, this caravan stride is so beautiful, especially the entrance. It has a beautiful stone lintel with starships. Oh, there's a shop here too. It's a book about Ibn Batutta. I'm gonna buy this book. I can't wait to share this with Yin in net.
The next day.
Guys, I bought a book about Ibn Batutta.
Wow, it's amazing!
Do you guys want to see it? Yes, sure.
The Travel of Ibn Batutta, An Architectural Journey in Cairo. This book is written by Nur Nabila, Nur Adika, Nur Arifah, Aina Patricia, Engku Nur Nadira, and Nur Alia Zukrina. And the main contents of the book are architectural info about Wikala of Bazara, Sultania Mausoleum, and Madrasa of Al-Nasir Muhammad. In 1326, Ibn Battuta traveled about 3,500 kilometers to reach Alexandria, then part of the Bahri Mamluk Empire. Journey included detours to Mecca and the Red Sea part of Adham. Sheikh Murshidi perceived the essence of Ibn Battuta's trip, that he was destined to wander the globe. He says he spent several weeks touring the area site before heading inland to Cairo. Mamluk officials went to great lengths to keep the route clear for pilgrims. Many travelers would be robbed and killed if they did not have this assistance. Their deviation had an additional benefit because of the holy sites along the way. Ibn Battuta remained in Cairo for about a month before deciding to travel to Mecca on his own. Under the Sultan's safety, this route was generally secure, but it took longer. It took him about 3 weeks to go up to the Nile. Then he traveled by land rather by water, staying in the homes of philosophers, qadis and Sufis as well as in college dorms. Surprisingly, he only spent one night in Cairo before embarking on the second leg of journey. The Mamluks guided this path, so he chose to follow it northeastward. One of the places that he stopped was the Wikala of Bazara, which is one of the urban caravanserai in Cairo. The Wikala is located on Tambak Shah Street of Jamalia Street in the Jamalia district, one of the most important commercial quarters of the Fatimid period Cairo Egypt bazaars. Wikala has one main facade, The structure has 4 floors and a length of 25 meters. The first and the second floors are made of brick. The upper of the residential levels, on the other hand, are made of concrete. There are 4 shops to the right of the gate, and a side entrance of the building consisting of a door. The side entrance was designed specifically for patrons of the caravanserai residential units in the upper floors. The second-story facade has 3 screens. The caravanserai's floor plan has various elements are organized around a rectangular open courtyard. It is divided into 2 sections, industrial and residential. The commercial portion of the building consists of storage areas organized around the courtyard, on the ground and the first floor. The housing level is made up of apartments above the warehouse. Here amazed by the interior space of the Wikala because each unit has 2 floors, one entry hall, a lounge, a kitchen, a laundry room, and an internal staircase. Each of 4 courtyard facades consists of 2 colonnades, the second at the beginning of which are supporting arch with square piers in brick. The columns of the facade form a corridor to the storage facilities located on the first floor and the second floor across the courtyard. The residential areas of the third and fourth floors overlook the courtyard with mashrabias, wood turning grill, with mobile greens that open upwards. Each apartment was vertically and horizontally divided from the next. One caravanserai for Syrian traders had 360 lodgings above the storerooms and could accommodate 5,000 visitors at once. Caravanserai acts as a hub for trade, transportation, transaction and other commercial activity.
And the next building of the Wikala of Baza is the Sultania Mausoleum, a mausoleum built in the 1350s in the Mamluk era which is dedicated to the mother of Sultan Hassan. Ibn Battuta was impressed by the building, especially for its domes. It is a remarkable ribbed dome made up of stone, showing the majestic character of the structure. It has double domes with outer and indoor domes. The outer domes allow for a high exterior visible profile and the inner gives covering for the chamber inside. There are also letters in Kufi Khat written on the drums under the domes, and there are also mukarnas as a transition between those 2 structures. Stated here, there are 2 domes, and in between them there is an iwan which is like a large arch facing the Qibla, and the space is for prayer. Ibn Battuta then went inside the mausoleum and saw chamber tombs under the 2 domes. He complimented the lights getting through inside the mausoleum adequate, although there are only several tiny windows. There is also one minaret that connects the mausoleum with the Sultania Mosque. The minarets used are in the same style and form for those buildings. And the next page showing clearer picture of the minarets, domes and iwan. As we can see at the most left picture is the minaret in octagonal shaft, a common style used in the 12th century in Iran and across the world. And there's stone domes which tend to be similar to Persian and Timurid architecture, and mukarnas to create a good transition between 2 main parts of structures. And there's letters in Arabic using Kufi Khat and Iwan between the domes, possibly inspired by the Anatolian windows placed at a strategic position to give adequate lights inside.
Moving on, so Ibn Battuta came across a madrasa in Cairo, Egypt, which is Madrasa of Al-Nasir Muhammad, located in the Bain al-Qasrain neighborhood of Al-Muiz Street. So the stucco designs and inscriptions enhance the beauty of the exterior and interior of the madrasa. The inscriptions of the facade begins with Al-Nasir Muhammad's name and finishes with the initial foundation date of 1296. This madrasa is styled as reminiscent of stucco carving developed in Tabriz. Apart from the mihrab, the interior of Al-Nasir Muhammad's house has very little decoration. The main entrance corridor separates the domed mausoleum from the madrasa from which it is accessed. The madrasa and the mausoleum are visually linked by windows that run across the main entrance hallway. The mausoleum's dome collapsed in 1870 and was never rebuilt, leaving only the dome's drum visible today. Apart from that, a simple wooden roof now covers the space once covered by the dome. The Gothic marble portal of the Madrasa of Al-Nasir Muhammad is its most distinguished feature. It can be seen as a pointed arch with a triple recess flanked on either side by three slender columns. In Cairo mosque and madrasas, this one is historically important, serving as a reward for the Muslims' victory over the Crusaders. Ibn Battuta's eyes immediately caught by the amazing aesthetic medallions, keel arch niches, and parts filled with geometric and floral designs adorned by this stucco minaret, which is one of Cairo's only remaining stucco minarets. The medallions and keel arch niches are reminiscent of earlier Fatimid and Ayyubid decoration, and the floor designs are typical of stucco carvings from this time period. As you can see, some of the geometric patterns are similar to those found in the Al-Azhar Mosque mihrab. The Kufic script. There is a band of Kufic script running through the lower decorative arcade. The quality and density of the stucco work suggests that Maghribi or Andalusi craftsmen were involved in its production, according to some historians. To conclude, all the constructors and artists of this building really show that this madrasa will be one of those aesthetic and eye-catching buildings, as it have enormous architectural styles and crazy details. Here is a quote by Ibn Battuta himself, which is, "Traveling, it leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller." After returning to Quanzhou in 1346, I began my journey back to Morocco, but as soon as I was in Calicut, I once again considered throwing myself at the mercy of Muhammad bin Tughlaq in Delhi, but thought better of it and decided to carry on to Mecca. On my way to Basra, I passed through the Strait of Hormuz, where I first learned that Abu Sa'id, last ruler of the Ilkhanate dynasty, had died in Persia. Abu Sa'id territories had subsequently collapsed due to fierce civil war between the Persians and Mongols. In 1348, I then arrived in Damascus with the intention of retracing the route of my first Hajj. When I learned that my father had died 15 years earlier and death became the dominant theme for the next year or so, the Black Death had struck, and I finally decided to stop in Homs as the plague spread through Syria, Palestine, and Arabia. I have heard of terrible death tolls in Gaza, but returned to Damascus that July, where the death toll had reached 2,400 victims each day. I then stopped in Gaza, where I found it was depopulated, and in Egypt I decided to stay at Abu Sir. Reportedly, deaths in Cairo have reached levels of 1,100 each day, and I made Hajj to Mecca, then decided to return to Morocco nearly a quarter of a century after leaving home. And on the way to my last destination, I made one last detour to Sardinia, then in 1349 returned to Tangier by way of Fez, only to discover that my mother had also died a few months ago.